Hey guys, it's KOAG here, and we're going to be basically doing like a movie review of Bird Box, and that was a very good movie to say the least. Just literally just starting from the beginning of the movie, um, you can just immediately feel like a good, strong affinity to the protagonist, to the female protagonist, because she was just completely decent, completely proper, because you could just tell that you could rock with her because she was strong. She wasn't like a Mary Sue type of person who just was just really super good for no reason. She was strong, she was confident, she was smart. You can tell that from even the very beginning, when how the way she was simply just talking to the children, like don't do this, don't do that, and you can tell like she got what she got. It's nothing you wanna mess with her. And just from that, just literally from her and the way that she was, I was just like, yeah, this is a solid character, not one we want to not one that's gonna be taken lightly. One that's gonna be enjoyed throughout the whole movie. Her and her sister and every single proper protagonist female there. Like the doctor was good, her sister was good. I was really happy with the way that these women were portrayed in these movies. I was just overjoyed because it was good. But basically, if you should have watched the movie by now, but the whole plot line of Bird Box is that there's a type of like a monster type of thing, and if you look at it, it makes you commit suicide, and then you basically just die. So you shouldn't really look at it basically, or you die. You know, it's common sense. If you want to stay alive, you don't look at it because you're gonna die. So like basically the main protagonist, the woman, she's pregnant, okay? Mallory. Oh, Mallory is such a beautiful, kind-hearted lady. Mallory is, and it was just good. She was pregnant, and she's also going through some stuff, like some mental stuff, like identity, being lonely, really finding someone that she can just decently be with after getting hurt by people in the past, you know. And we've all done that. We've all felt that, and that's the whole thing. Like yeah, she was feeling alone in this world, and she had a very good support system. Basically that being her sister and Dr. Lepalm. Because you can tell that Dr. Lepalm was part of the support system, part of the solution, because Lepalm was teasing her and everything like that, and then just basically like saying, "Man, you got to do this, and providing her with some good ways that she can be doing stuff. And that, to me, that was good. That was good. It was a very lovely thing to see. A woman that was strong with a very solid, nice, wise support system. Like, what more are you going to be asking for, man? So then that all goes down well, and then the sister comes over basically and wants her to check out some stuff for the baby and see how that's going, and just like all that sisterly love, teasing and everything in the hospital. And then they go into the hospital, and then they basically like, one of the first things they see is this lady in the orange jacket. Well, I knew I was gonna die straight away. But like I kind of might have been because I watched the trailer, but I just sensed like this lady's gonna die. Like she's gonna die. But before they went, they also one of the sisters was talking to the other sister about what exactly was happening with in the world. No one was really too sure with what's happening, because a lot of people were committing suicide and dying, and they were just unsure. Like everyone was just super unsure, like about what's happening. And she was thinking, man, I haven't been watching the news or whatever, all that type of stuff. But obviously she hadn't. So yeah. So anyway, but then in the hospital, they chuck over to Dr. Lepalm, and everything's all nice and good and beautiful, and that's all great. And when they finish talking with Dr. Lepalm about her and the pregnancy, doing the scan, and she, what's it called? They start going out, and obviously the lady with the orange jacket, she basically just died first. Like there was There was no two ways about it. She's just hitting her head against the window, and then they're just like, man, what's happening? We've got to save this lady. That lady was gone, man. I'm almost thinking, like, what if he like completely physically restrained the person from killing themselves? Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen then? But I don't think that was fully explored, so we can't really say, to be honest. But something that we can still consider So then, as they're going, they're just trying to get away. They're just like, okay, let's quickly go to the countryside, because whatever is happening there, it won't really be affecting the countryside. They want to be on a horse as they're driving, and as they're driving, what's it called? Mallory reaches back behind to check for something, and the monster thingy is like goes right in front of her sister while she's driving, but Mallory doesn't see it, and that was like, oof, that part hit hard, man, because Mallory's sister just like Mallory's sister just just started driving like she wanted to kill both of them, trying to kill herself, and yeah, she's like, stop, please stop, you gotta take control, stop. But she doesn't stop, okay? Like, she actually crashes the car. They don't both die, okay? Fortunately, they don't both die in the crash. Actually, no one dies in the crash. They both survive with very, very, very minor injuries. But as soon as they both survived the crash, the whole car, like, it spun and went upside down and everything like that. Literally, as soon as they had done that, she had, the other sister stepped out of the car and stepped into the way of an oncoming truck and killed herself. I was quite sad, to say the least, of what happened. I was really not happy with how that happened. It kind of just touched me. Wasn't happy. Really, really wasn't happy. She just died. But anyway, so then we see a black guy. We see a black guy in the crowd, okay? And that guy, I'm thinking, like, this guy is either gonna die or be really, really good, like, vital part of the story, okay? He was a vital part to the story. We'll see a black guy. We don't really see much about him in the beginning, but we'll just see him, like, severally, quite a bit, and that was good. And Mallory, being pregnant, I'm like, please, man, can someone help her out? Can someone help her out? Please, man, help her out, man. She's, with her condition that she's in, please, man, help her out. But, like, everyone's super panicking. And I'm like, please, someone help Mallory. Please, someone help Mallory. But no one really helps Mallory. Like, no one really stops except for Lydia. Lydia says, oh, come inside, we'll help you. Douglas is like, no. Don't do this. Okay, we can't really be helping everyone because of what's happening. Just gotta chill, okay? That's what we do. But Lydia didn't listen. Lydia did not listen. She actually went ahead. I'm not saying it was a bad thing that Lydia didn't listen. I'm just saying that Lydia didn't listen, okay? She went ahead and tried to rescue Mallory, but then in the process of doing so, okay? In the process of doing so, there's a lot of car crashes and everything like that. So much stuff happening. In the process of doing so, she actually looks at the monster thing herself, and then steps into a burning car, and which then explodes, and she dies. That's what happens to Lydia, who is Douglas's wife. It was quite sad. A lot of people were dying. In this movie. That's a heads up, guys. I was really not happy about what happened, and Mallory just felt terrible. She felt terribly, terribly bad about what happened there because Lydia went to save her, and in the end, Lydia died and she lived and she was fine. And what really struck me was, like, there was a lot of lack of help for Mallory when she was pregnant, and hardly anyone was really able to help her. I think Tom that was able to quickly help her out and get her into the building, say all nice and safe and sound, all that type of stuff. It's what we like. It's what we love seeing. Very, very good. Very, very beautiful. Very, very nice. So she goes in there, and obviously contentions and issues with what's his name, with Douglas, because he's like, we shouldn't have done this, man. My wife is now dead, and Jules is like is the owner of the whole house. They're just like, it's my house. I'll do whatever the heck I want. The beautiful thing about Douglas is that his wife has died, but he's still sane. He's still calm. He's still collected. He's still calculated. it's not someone you still want to be messing with. Like Douglas was still there. Douglas is like an old guy, and which is quite smart. He was making really good calls for the movie basically. So then inside the house, there's quite a few people. There's another black guy, there's Felix, and there's also like a police officer person. Felix being actually MGK, which I only realized at the end when I searched up the characters. MGK being Machine Gun Kelly. That's who Felix was. And there's just basically, and then there's now Mallory there as well. So then the whole issue. Oh, and there's also an old lady there. I might be forgetting one or two people, but I don't think so. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. So then there's all those people, and the whole thing is that they just gotta survive and do kind of see how it goes. Then the fat black guy. Okay. There's Tom, and then there's like another black guy, a fat black guy, who works at a retail thing, right? So then he just tells them what it kind of is. Or the whole problem kind of is like about its worst fears materialize, except my issue with that is because some people were seeing loved dead ones, okay? So I don't think it's your worst fears materialize. I think it's more like just a really evil monster guy that just wants you, that just gets into your head and kills you if you look at it. Nothing more, nothing less really. That's the whole everything. Yeah. So that's the whole thing, and then they doubt. I'm gonna call him CJ. I think his name is CJ. They kind of doubt CJ because it's just like, oh man, what are you? You're just like a normal Walmart supermarket dude, you know. And that was one of the main issues with all of that, because it was like, how can you really trust what this guy is kind of saying? You feel me? Because you're not really qualified. I didn't learn that in college, and just through the internet. You're serious? Like, it's internet you want to be using to tell us what to do, what's wrong, what's good, what's right. Like, you learned all this stuff. We should just trust that. But what he was saying kind of did make sense. And he was writing a novel, a book that we'll get to how he completed the book later on in the thing. But that's the whole thing. So then them three, all them guys are just looking at the thing and the radio and everything, and they're just like, you know what's going to happen? The old lady's just like, someone is coming, the military is going to come and help us out, it's going to be fine, the government has this under control. Next minute, okay, the satellite is lost, and like no one can really help anyone because the TV that they're watching, it just loses everything, and then people are just like, dang, okay. And they just really contemplate, okay, when next are going to lose electricity, when next are going to lose water, like how long can we really survive in here, how much food do we have, well, what can we really be doing so we can really extend the lifespan of us people who are inside of this place. Now, those are the main questions I was put through everyone's heads at that time. But the face of that old woman was like, man, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We got this. Okay, all gonna be good. And then Douglas is like, we're all gonna die. Everyone here, we're literally just like all gonna die. Okay, like there's no doubt about that. We're all gonna die. And so we kind of see a lot of stuff progress as they're going. So as time goes on, they're kind of seeing, okay, we're really losing like a lot of food. We actually kind of need to get out of here, okay? But all the stuff that's happening, it's not without any other people knowing each other more and more, like seeing more of I'm just gonna call the girl Sasha, like the police girl. Reminds me of Helsing. Of the police girl, like of her attitude and stuff like that. Because the world's coming to an end. They're just really seeing what can we really actually be doing, to be honest with you, friends. All that type of stuff. That's where a lot of stuff is basically just happening. You feel me? So that's all of it. For that, yeah, that's all of it for that section. Not all of it for the whole movie, obviously. So what happens next is that another lady then comes in, knocking at the door. Her name is Olympia. She's fat and she's pregnant. Okay, but like you couldn't really tell because she was just really fat. Yeah. and that whole thing was actually a whole contention of the movie, kind of, because the question is like, is she really capable enough to like kind of pull her own weight and contribute to the society that we're actually in now, so that she can actually be a useful human being? And that was the thing. She knew herself that she couldn't really be helping anyone at all, and that was another aspect that was really explored in this movie. The movie was quite good actually, because of stuff like this, exploring humanity and what it means to be human. Because once you do that, you really draw people deeper into your story and what you have for them, and that is always a very, very beautiful and sweet thing that you can always be doing. Okay, so basically they run out of they get close to running out of food, and then they decide, okay, we actually need to leave this house right now. And no, even before then, my man Jules, okay, Jules is gay and he has a husband, okay, and the whole house is his, okay. There's a lot of stuff I could really be saying, but I'm only going to be saying like the most important stuff. And Jules is just like, okay, we got cameras, okay? So when you actually use the cameras, it's not going to be the same thing as actually looking at the monster. So I'll use the cameras, okay? I'll be the test subject, I'll be the dummy, and we'll see what happens if you look at it through the cameras and see how that happens. Okay, Jules was wrong. Even though they tied Jules up to the chair, that if he sees the thing, he's not going to kill himself inside of the room. He still kills himself once he sees the image of the thing somehow, because he pushes the table over and then falls off his chair and then cracks his head on this brick and then dies. I wasn't happy how Jules. I wasn't happy that Jules died. I wasn't happy at all. Yeah, but well, the point is that they've now discovered that you can't look at it, even a video of it. Kind of like a weeping angel, like a video of a weeping angel is a weeping angel, you know, you feel me? But that was kind of like the main gist of it, is like, just don't look at it in any way, in any singular capacity at all, because it's going to spell the death of whatever. Just don't. You feel me? Okay, so they're going on. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be like a longer video. I mean, you can probably already tell from the length of the video, of course. Okay, so as we're going on, they discover that, okay, we need to get some more food. How are we going to get this food? So what they do is that they decide that they're going to actually drive to the supermarket by using the GPS system of the car, and by blocking out all the windows of the car, so they don't see anything. Also in the house, they blocked off all the windows in the house, like just putting like newspaper or something, just so they don't see outside. I really felt like they kind of could have done a better job, but I think newspaper kind of lets them know night and day and those type of stuff. So kind of translucent, because the way it is that it directly blocks from seeing the monster, but the monster always still casts a shadow of whatever happens, so over wherever it goes. So that's one thing that should be noted, that there's the strong shadow that it casts once in the way of sunlight, which is a good thing to note, to be honest, how it does that, and like, I mean, that it does that. Okay, so then all those guys are like, okay, cool. Let's go to the supermarket. They weren't really that excited, to be honest. But Olympia, the fat pregnant lady, she wanted to kind of prove her worth, that she's actually able to do it. But she volunteered, but like Mallory's like, no, don't worry, man, I got you. I'll do it this time, next time you go. And she's like, all right, that's cool, that's fine. Okay, so. But that's one thing I liked about Olympia. Like, she knew she wasn't good, but she was trying to be good, you know. And then there's Mallory, like, also pregnant, but like super good. Like, Mallory's not someone you mess with. Like, even when she came into the house and then she did like she like used the shotgun, and like Doug was like, you don't know how to use a shotgun. She used it real good. And then and then everyone's like, I don't mess with this girl. Yeah, because that's competence, okay. That's one thing you need to like. That's something that distinguishes you from everyone else is your competence. And Mallory really expressed that very fluently and comprehensively and convincingly in this movie. Beautiful. So they go on. They're using the stuff. And by the way, Tom, the fit black guy, he's ex-military. So he's driving. He's doing his thing, and they are just driving on their way to the supermarket, using the proximity sensors of the car and the GPS navigation system. So basically that's what happens, and they get there with challenges, okay? Okay, not without any challenges. There are some challenges, basically like vehicles in their way, they're just there, and also the monsters that's there, and kind of just surrounding them. And seeing what can really happen, and all that type of stuff. But they get there safely. No one dies on the way there. Okay, which I think is good. And no one died on the way to the supermarket. And they get out of the car with their blindfolds on and feel their way into the supermarket. And obviously, because one of the rules, stay indoors. I don't think I think it's possible for these guys to actually enter houses if you leave the door open for long enough. But I really cannot confirm. Maybe they just they need like a super expansive open space. I really don't know about most of that and how that would really have to work, to be honest. There's some other stuff. I don't know how that works, to be honest. But they get inside, okay, and obviously they can take off their thing because there's no bad guys there, and they just start shopping. Douglas is happy, everybody is happy, and it was just good. It's just good. We're feeling it, man. Like everyone's just like, yeah, man. Like we've really hit the jackpot. Yeah, we can really survive off of this stuff from the supermarket for a good while. Like we've extended our lifespan and see what we can do, which is good. Okay, and actually hold on a second. I'm gonna put a pause on this right now because there's actually a duplicity to the story. Okay, there's two parts to the story. The first part is what happens before the problem. Okay, and then this next part is also the problem itself. Okay, so. It's like, sorry, the next part is the problem itself and what Mallory is doing about it after she's separated from the main group. But I'll continue telling this in a nice, good chronological order from the beginning to the end to where they are now. When I say where they are now, which is the scene you see in the very beginning of the movie. So they're inside of the supermarket. And Douglas is just like, man, I got a bright idea. Why don't we just abandon all those guys that are back at the place? Because I mean, just screw them. Like we don't really need them because they're not really helping us because we can just survive here. We can just screw them out or we can screw them off. And Mallory is like, yeah, nah, let's not do that because we're not bad people. A very beautiful answer, because within that answer it contains so much stuff. It contains what I like to call the trait of being human, the trait of being a nice and decent and respectable human, which respects other people's lives. Very crucial point, and something that's really deeply explored within this movie. The trait of being human and different aspects of humanity. That's done especially through Mallory. Okay? Beautiful. So they all decide, yeah, now we're not going to abandon those guys. We're actually going to take the food back and help them out. As they're going out, they hear some knocks on the door on the inside of someone called Fish Fingers. Fish Fingers actually having been trapped there earlier on for some reason, because For some reason, he was just trapped in there. I don't know. But they tried to let him out, but then they discovered that there's something wrong with Fish Fingers. He's actually trying to do these guys some harm. Okay, and CJ actually sacrifices himself, pushes Fish Fingers, gets into that room. Somehow, I think one of the monsters is somehow into that room, or maybe it leads to the outside. I really cannot say. But CJ dies. CJ dies, and then Fish Fingers is still alive, and you just leave Fish Fingers there. They don't kill Fish Fingers, but they leave him. Which I'm like, why didn't they kill him? They could have killed him, but I'm just like, maybe they just kind of just left it. No, we can't really say. But CJ is dead, and they have a lot of food, and the amount of food they had.
You will get tired. You have a why.
I kind of wanted to see how they actually put all those trolley-packed amount of food into the car without taking off their blindfold. Okay, like I mean, like each of these steps really should be explored because they had so much food and the car was so small. And the next thing you see them driving back home in silence because CJ just died. Okay. Which I'm like, yeah, explanation please. Yeah, there was really nothing. But I'm just like, I just talked it up as like, it's fine. It's it's a minor thing. They did it, okay. So they get there, and people obviously they're sad that CJ died, and Douglas is just like, yeah, screw that guy. It's just another book I wouldn't have to read, whatever. But then she's just like, when I say she, I mean Mallory's just like, yeah, he saved our life. And yeah, people just think that Douglas is just like a terrible human being. But Douglas is he's just trying to survive. He just wants his team to survive. Okay, and he just cares about people. And people do that differently, like all the time, and all that type of stuff. And that was when Douglas was talking to Mallory, and they just kind of bonded there, you know. Douglas and Mallory just kind of bonded and kind of got to understand and know each other better, and I thought that was good. I was quite happy about that, to be honest, about how those two bonded. But then Felix and Police Girl, they've been forming a relationship inside of the house, and then they steal the car and drive away. Yeah, steal the car, and then they drive away. You know, like people can just dog you over and over and over and over and over again. Like it's not a good trait for those type of stuff. Like just backstabbing people. I think I did a video about that a while ago. It's not good. It's really not good at all. So then after they Felix and Police Girl dog everyone, they quickly close the garage to stop the monsters from getting in, and they're like, okay, we really can't really go anywhere because we really can't go anywhere because of there's no car. We can't go anywhere because there's no car. Duh. Okay, so then later on, Olympia, oh, bless her soul. Olympia goes and hears a knock at the door, and she just opens the door for a guy called Gary. Gary now is actually not wearing a blindfold when he comes in, but no one really notices that. I really cannot confirm that, but I feel like he wasn't wearing a blindfold when he came inside. So that was a very pertinent that was a very pertinent issue, because if you're not wearing a blindfold, why wouldn't you be wearing a blindfold? Okay, but he wasn't wearing a blindfold, and people's like, man, it's another human being. Let's save him. We'll accept him, and that's good. But Douglas is like, okay, what's his story? Okay, so then the story is from Gary, is that he and his group escaped. Were also living in another house until some bad guys broke in. Some when I say bad guys, I mean human beings. So until some bad human beings broke in and forced everyone to look at the monsters, because these guys, they wanted to look at the monsters, and they felt that everyone should look at the monsters, and that was what they're doing. They were basically forcing people to open their eyes and to look at it, and that was the thing. And And Douglas is like, okay, cool, nice story, bro. Yeah, now get out, okay? We don't want you here. I don't trust you. I don't believe your story, okay? All that type of stuff. I asked him if he looked as well, but then he said no. But the point is like, yeah, I don't believe your story and all that type of stuff. They didn't even search his belongings. They didn't even search what was inside of Gary's bag, okay? So anyway, they don't like Douglas's attitude to like a new person. Then they knock him out and putting him. It was the old lady, man. I mean, that's what I mean. Like sometimes a lot of ignorant women in stories, but the best thing about this movie is that the protagonist, being pregnant, she was the strongest. So being pregnant and being intelligent as well, and being competent, and having had a rough life, she was actually the strongest person for the movie. And during the movie, she was actually the strongest person during the movie. While she was pregnant, okay. In the whole movie, the strongest person in the movie is Mallory. Actually, probably Tom followed closely by Mallory. I think this also means like emotionally and everything like that. But when it comes to being strong, she was up there. She was just really up there, okay. And that was something that we note because the survivor instinct of the mother really kicks in when they're pregnant, and then just really and then just really protects the child, which I think is good. It's something that we like seeing children protected. We like seeing children not die. We like seeing children have a good life. I mean, don't you? Yeah. So anyway, they've knocked out Douglas. He's in the garage. He's sleeping and all that type of stuff. And the next day, at the same time, okay, roughly around the same time, Mallory and Olympia, they both go into childbirth. Okay, now some preamble to this. Mallory and Olympia, they're both actually been chatting to each other because both being pregnant, Olympia thought, okay, let me hang around with Mallory. Okay, apparently it's good that pregnant mothers just stay close to each other. And they just talked and chatted about husbands and where the husbands were, and absence of men, and which it's just completely beautiful because it tackles the absence of men in not a way that is pushing rigorously for misandry, but more for female empowerment in a very good and positive way. So it's not putting men down, it's bringing women up in a very good and positive way, and it's just completely beautiful. Okay, so Olympia's husband had actually was actually in the military as well, Air Force. So he was on a mission, and Mallory actually wasn't married; she just had a child, and the guy wasn't really much of a decent guy, so he wasn't there. Okay, so that's the whole thing, and that's what happens. That's what happens there. So both of these ladies are in childbirth now, and they both discussed giving names and what they wanted for their children and what they decided, and just kind of bonded there, you know. But they were having childbirth now, and during this time we see Gary just playing some classical, beautiful music on the radio, and blah 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 blah, and start doing some drawing. And the stuff he was drawing was some weird as heck stuff, some monstrosity thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't really like what this guy was drawing. Like, really, should this really be allowed? Like, this is some really scary stuff he's drawing. Okay, I wasn't too happy about it. But like, I was like, okay, he's not really done anything bad. Okay, but it's really concerning me. I'm feeling concerned with the way with the stuff he's drawing, like especially in this climate and everything. Okay, but he starts drawing, and then he stops for a while. No, he doesn't stop for a while. He takes the birds, and he puts them in the freezer. Okay, so far there's birds, and these birds, they have like an instinct to know when those monster guys are near. They just make a noise, and people know, okay, the monster guys are near. Just hype up your senses. Don't get caught off guard. puts them in the freezer so that people don't have that warning that they're in danger, and starts ripping open all of the stuff that's covering the windows, that people can see the monster. He wants to kill everybody, or let them see the beauty. And that's when I'm like, okay, this guy wasn't good. Douglas was right. They really should have listened to Douglas. Yeah, nah, they didn't listen to Douglas. They did not listen to Douglas. I really wasn't happy at all about the fact that they didn't really listen to Douglas, because Douglas was a person that was very, I just wanted the best for everyone, okay? And Douglas sees him put the birds in the freezer. I'm like, real man, fam, what you doing, fam? And he just continues. And then later on, Tom then comes and then sees Douglas. And my issue now is that Tom must have still been thinking like Douglas is still needs to be in the garage a little bit longer, because he doesn't open the garage. Even though I think Douglas asked him to, but he just says, Tom, just put the birds in the freezer, man. Okay, and then Tom's thinking he's gonna just basically do this by himself. Oh my lord. Tom really should have released Douglas from the. He really should have released him from that place then. All these stuff. People, if they listened to Douglas more, more people would actually have been alive. Wasn't happy. I was not a happy, chappy guy about what happened. Okay, I was very, very not happy. I guess it's me not being happy. So anyway, so they really could have saved what's it called? Saved them if Tom had literally just had opened up the garage for him. Okay? But he didn't. So yeah, I mean, they could have saved a lot more people if Tom had opened up the garage, but he didn't. But that's basically how it went down. Okay, so Douglas then goes to the woman who are giving childbirth, and just like, oh, cool, you guys have children. Let me have a quick sneak peek at these children. They let him, and like, okay, that's good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and he opens the windows. Just opens the windows. That's what he does. Just opens the windows, and they're like, yo man, Douglas, man, what you doing this for, fam? Please, man, please, bro, fam, please, come on, fam. But they don't. He doesn't listen. He's just like, yo, I'm gonna do this. Doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna do this, and he does. And I'm sure they're just like, man, we really should have listened to Douglas, but they didn't. Okay. Not too good, to be honest. How that all went down.
That was a close one.
I was very, very not happy about all that. Far out.
Extraction
Yeah.
is ready.
So let me actually quickly get to extract. Oh my gosh. No, please. Please. No. Oh my lord. Okay. I need to quickly find the closest life support thingy. Oh my lord, no!
Get ready for a capsule.
Oh my lord. Oh. I'm very annoyed now. Okay, I just wanted to quickly get to that thing, and now it's gone. But anyway, so Douglas basically tries to kill everyone, or get them to see the whole beauty of the whole monster guys, and they're just like, please don't do this. And Tom, he takes out Tom, he knocks out Tom, and somehow Douglas was able to. Sorry, I mean Gary. Gary's the bad guy. Okay, Gary knocks out Tom, and then Douglas is able to escape from the garage and try to help out. He shoots Gary with a shotgun, and and they have a little bit of a fight, and then Gary ends up killing and stabbing Douglas, which was really not happy with how that happens. And then the shotgun was right next to Tom, and Gary and Douglas are all close to each other. Douglas is dead, then there's Gary, and then Gary and Tom just both start fighting over the. They both start fighting over the shotgun, and Tom uses the shotgun to kill Gary. So that's basically what happened then. Following on, so basically these are the people who died and how they died. So he had opened the blinds, and Olympia, my lord, Olympia is so. She didn't even close her eyes. She did not close her eyes. As soon as those blinds were open, she was looking for some reason. She actually looked. She didn't instinctively close. Everyone else closed their eyes and covered themselves with blankets. Olympia could have saved people, but she didn't. Okay. Anyway, Olympia died. Okay. She before she committed suicide. Okay. What's it called? What's his name? Mallory's just like Olympia, please give me a baby, give me a baby, give me a baby, give me a baby before you jump out, give me a baby before you jump, give me a baby before you jump out, give me a baby before you jump out. Okay, so then so as soon as what's that happens, as soon as she had given the baby, and basically as soon as she had given the baby, then basically she just jumps out. It makes me think, like, how exactly would the baby, like, commit suicide? Like, I mean, I don't want to see babies commit suicide, but, like, let's see if the baby actually looked at the monster guy. How would the baby then commit suicide? I mean, it's just a baby. How would it do its thing? I mean, all these questions. Okay, and then that's how Olympia died. She jumped out the window. Old lady, she stabs herself with the scissors that she had to kind of cut the umbilical cord after Gary forces her to look outside the window, and we already know how Douglas died. So then that was kind of how it went. That was kind of how it went for those guys. The main thing about what they've learned from this is that people who are going around without blindfolds, they actually have a mental type of issue, which forces them to force other people to remove their blindfolds and become dangerous people, because they kind of have mental issues. So I feel like people who are kind of insane are kind of immune to those monster guys. Which also gave me a question, like, what about people who can look at it and won't force other people, and like it just makes you safe, man. Like, you can look at it but you're not gonna force other people, you're just like a solid chill guy. Okay, and you just remain being a solid chill guy. You can just say, oh, it looks good, but you don't have to look at it, like, but I won't force other people to look at it, like, whatever, like, just live in peace and harmony and not kill people or force people to look at it, you know? But looks like that wasn't there could be some people out there, because there's a lot of it. There was quite a few people behaved quite differently, and what Fish Fingers was doing, it was a little bit different, because he was just there in the thing, just begging to get let out, and kills the person or forces them to look at it. And then there's Gary, who comes surreptitiously, infiltrates, and then does his thing, you know. And then there's other people who like go as a group and hunt people down. It's all different, okay. But either way, in the end, it's only Mallory and Tom that have survived, along with the 2 children. So then, as the children are growing up, Mallory's training them to be good at hearing what's happening, to be good at like moving around without seeing, without using their eyes, and all that type of stuff, so that they can be much better people. And that was just decent. Along with Tom, because those 2, they really made a good team. They survived for quite a while, a couple years, with the boy and the girl. Okay, so later on they get a call from Rick, reminds me of The Walking Dead. Rick tells them they've got a place and they can come together. They're going to be safe there, and nothing's really going to stop them at all, because they're going to be able to. They're gonna be safe there. Okay, they got to play it safe without windows, and no one's going to be able to. It's basically a safe place. Okay, that's what Rick is proposing. And all the while I'm hearing Rick, I'm thinking, okay, what about Walking Dead? But obviously not the same universe, because obviously not the same universe, because not the same problem. And which also made me start to think, also maybe this guy also took some influence from The Walking Dead. But either way, so then they start preparing to make the trip. And one of the problems there is that one person will have to look during the trip so that they can steer the boats properly, because they're going to be going by river. Okay, so right now I'm going to take a little bit of a segue and then explain some more about Mallory's character. Immediately after she gave birth, I feel like she regressed into any other female protagonist who lacks competency, who lacks being useful, and is just kind of strong. Okay, very, very similar to at the time I was also watching some stuff of Darksiders. Someone who's just really good but just very, very ignorant. She had a very high level of ignorance and humanity, and was kind of pushing that away, trying to be strong in the pursuit of survival. Immediately after she gave birth and was taking care of Olympia's child and her own child. She had a boy, by the way. Olympia had a girl. So that was just something that kind of, which made sense, but I didn't like that about Melody. It made me very, very sad to see that. And then Tom still being good old Tom, not really messing around. He just did his thing. Okay, he just always doing his thing. He's good. He's fine. He's chill. He's nothing to mess around with. Okay. So then that's how it goes with them two, and they start to make the trip. And regularly, Mallory's talking about the fact that she keeps hearing people who are driving around very, very fluently as if they're not wearing a blindfold, which means that more crazy people. As you're watching this, you don't really understand the significance of not wearing a blindfold and what it means until you delve into the movie further, and then those questions become answered. Like, oh, this answers this, and that answers that, and this all makes sense. It's all coming together, and all that type of stuff. And decent stuff. And I thought that was quite. That's actually quite good the way it did that. It wasn't bad, but it was. I thought that was quite decent the way it was doing that, to be honest. So then with all of that and everything that was happening just then, they then just what's it called? Yeah, they then start to plan the trip to get to the safe place and find Rick's people. This part kind of pains me because we kind of see that she, being Mallory, is being very, very ignorant again, saying, "Now, what if it's a bad guy? What if they're trying to lure us out? What if this? What if that? What if everything?" Being cautious, yeah. But then I'm like, man, just come on, man. Like, you know, we got to be moving, man. Just listen to Tom, man. Tom got this. You know, you can be trusting Tom. But then she has an argument with Tom about the children, about being a decent mother and everything like that, giving them names, giving them hope and everything like that, and which made me feel sad because she was out of touch with her humanity. This whole thing has jaded her, and should have been the other way around. With Tom being ex-military, it should have jaded him, but he seemed completely fine. There was no character progression in Tom. Tom was just where he was. I guess that's because of his past experience of everything. It was just the same. Well, we see a lot of character progression in Mallory. and which is what really drives and pushes the story forward. So then we go. They're trying to planning for the trip. On the day they're planning the trip, when bad guys come, they try to cost these guys, force them to look, kind of thing. But they don't really do that yet. And then Tom's just like, okay, they're coming. I'll distract them. I got this, fam. Don't worry about it. And then he starts fighting them basically, and but he's trying to shoot them without a blindfold though, which is hard. With the blindfold, which is hard because he's shooting people while wearing a blindfold. You can't really see what you're shooting. You know, you feel me? So that wasn't really helping anyone with that fact. So he took off his blindfold and was just like, okay, let's do this, man. You want to rock? Well, let's rock. I'll rock us together. Takes off his blindfold, executes all of them. Okay, and obviously, because he took off his blindfold, he died. And but before he killed himself, he killed the last person. Even after he looked, so he looked, killed the last person, and killed himself. That's what you call willpower. Okay, so I'm guessing he probably had some edge over that because of his past experience having changed his mental mentality, which makes me really think that it's possible for people to look at it and still be good people. But I don't have anything yet to 100% confirm this assertion. So immediately after this, then the Mallory and the kids start heading towards a place, and that's when she tells them all those things you see in the beginning of the movie, and tells them, man, we got to not do this, we got to do that. Listen to me so we can all stay safe, and yeah, okay. So then, which was good because they listened to her for the most part, except for the girl who I said, like, okay, ignorance hits these girls at a young age, okay. So then, well, Mallory comes in time before the girl makes any stupid decisions, to be honest. Yeah, because what happened was that as they were going, they hit a bump somewhere along the river, and the boy fell out, and Mallory had to save him as well, and also some of the supplies fell. So then she had to quickly go get some more supplies, all that type of stuff. It was quite the journey, and the girl's like, Mallory's in trouble, and they wanted to go and help, but Mallory was good. Mallory's competent. Mallory's good. Okay, so I don't really know what enemy she was actually facing when they said she was in trouble, because she had a blindfold on and there wasn't any other humans there. But anyway, then Mallory comes back to the boat actually, and just like, it's this very small boat, and goes like, okay, yeah, no, you don't do that. You don't come out of the boat. If you think anything's happened, you leave without me, okay? You and your brother, you guys make the decisions yourselves, and you guys survive. And which is, that's the type of stuff I want to be seeing and hearing. I mean, okay, those kids were young, but like the type of power that she said it with, the type of survivability, the type of conviction that she said it with, that's the type of stuff I like watching, man. It was good. And which made, and she said it with such authenticity that you kind of felt that like they both knew how to make good decisions right then at that ripe young age of 10 years old or however old they were, and they could both survive because she's probably taught them how to survive well, because she had been training them, and obviously with Tom as well, like, beautiful. So that's part of the whole thing that's really just happening there. Basically, the fact that just trying to get that place on boat, and it's harder with children. That's what Rick had said on the way there. Because of all the back and forth flashback with the structure of the movie, I thought that this person was a good guy, but they were actually a bad guy. wasn't too sure about the whole dynamics of all of that. But the truth is that someone tried to force them to take off their blindfold. By first just saying, oh, take off your blindfold, man, it's safe here and everything like that, or whatever. I've got food or whatever for the children. But like somehow Mallory knew that the person was a bad person. I'm guessing that's because they said that they look good or something. That the children look tired and hungry, which made me feel okay. It's probably what gave it away, that this guy's without a blindfold. Yeah, so you don't be doing that. You don't be going around without blindfold. Yeah, so I think that was what really gave it away for those people. That yeah, you don't be doing that. So she kills the guy. Very, very good. Takes care of herself, takes care of her children. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. Something that we like enjoying. So then they get to the rapids, and which is the place that they say that someone was gonna have to look. And she told the children about this, and she was just like, one of you will have to look. And she knows that if any of them looks, man, that kid's gonna die. That kid is gonna die. Okay, which is another contention point for me, because one person looks, which is because if they don't look, it's quite likely that they're gonna make the wrong turn. Okay, because it actually needed a turn because there's a fork in the road. That wasn't specifically defined in the movie, but having looked at some of the synopsis of the novel, that seemed to be the case. And even when they were in the rapids, basically, there was really no way they can control that boat. And she at first she was just like had to tell me which way to turn. I'm like, even if he told you which way to turn, like I don't think you'll be able to know how to do that, because that was it's not easy. Those rapids really would have done the damage. So I don't know if she just like had a plan or just left those rapids to do their thing or whatever. But either way, that's what happens. Those rapids were there, and then just it really had an effect on their trip. The presence of those rapids. The boat capsizes. She loses both children, but she recovers them later on. Oh my lord! It really just touches me. Like I bring a little bit of tears to my eyes now. The way that it was with a boy, like how was like Mallory. It was like his high-pitched voice, like when like you're super cold, you try to shout out because you feel like you're gonna die. I don't know if anyone if anyone's been in that position, like you're drowning or whatever, you feel like you're gonna die, and you're so cold, and your voice is all raspy and everything. That's how that young boy sounded like, and he's like, Mallory, help me, save me, Mallory. It just touched your heart, basically, like what that boy was going through, basically, and you could very, very, very muchly sympathize with him and what he was going through. And so she rescues the boy, and then which is an arduous task, and then she has to rescue the girl. And luckily the girl had washed up on the correct shore and was chilling there like a princess, and was like just ringing her bell with her blindfold on, and it was basically just chill there, And so then it was easy for Mallory to find her because that bell was decently loud. Yeah, that bell was decently loud, and it allowed Mallory to quickly find and identify where she had to go to rescue the girl. So then after that, especially because of the fact it was on the correct shore, they just followed the birds as they were told by Rick, and then they try to find their way to the sanctuary place. Okay, so but the difference of this is actually the fact that they're kind of like in the woods and they can't really see where they're going because the blindfolds, right? So then, yeah, so Mallory trips over like quite a few times, and she drops she was carrying the children. I'm not really too sure why, because they can kind of carry them themselves. Oh, no. Okay, so she's walking with children at first. I'm not sure if she's carrying or walking with the children, but she needs to start running because the monster guys start coming. And I think they kind of like get into your head and force you to kind of look. But Mallory had a strong will, so I'm not sure why. She's probably just scared, okay? She's just probably super scared. Which is what made her do what she had to do. Take up the children, started running, and that was when she also dropped the children, and a lot of issues started just happening. She had told the children, under no circumstances do you remove your blindfolds. Like, I'll hurt you if I catch you without your blindfolds. She also said no talking on the trip. It made me think that and these guys, that the bad guys can like home into talking, but there was really no evidence of that. So I don't know why she said no talking. Maybe just so she can hear. I don't know. Yeah, because if it was like kind of like, okay, this movie is kind of similar to The Quiet Place, but anyway. It goes, they go into it more and more, and they go into the woods more and more, and that's quite good. That's quite decent. She dropped the children, and the monsters are coming, and they're trying to convince the children to take off the blindfold. She's like, "Don't take my children! Don't take my children!" And she's shouting to the children, "Boy, girl," because she didn't name them. So boy, girl, and finds the boy who was about to take off the blindfold, and then the boy says, she's scared of you, Mallory, probably because the girl screwed up doing something stupid earlier. And then she shouts at the girl, "No, don't do that. I love you," and everything like that, whatever. Just don't stress out, which kind of makes sense, you know. But like at the same time, I don't think that the girl was that. Or how do I put this? I think that even if the boy didn't tell her that she was scared of Mallory, that they would still that she would still, what's it called? Mallory would still have recovered her children. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Let's say that Mallory. Let's say that the boy just didn't say that she was scared. Mallory would still have successfully recovered her child. But which is another thing that really explores more of humanity and like people, because the boy knew that his sister was scared, but the mother who had been with them throughout the whole trip didn't know that she was scared of them. And that was also, which also gives some homage to how they're growing up and how they were brought up, basically kind of with fear with the mother. And Tom kind of pointed that out before he died. And because she didn't let them play, she didn't give them real names, and that wasn't too good, you know. When you're bringing up children, maybe not like the best idea is with all that type of stuff. You feel me? Yeah, that was what was really affecting a lot of things there. So basically, as they're basically just going, then she recovers both of the children, and then they find their way into the sanctuary place. After which, they find Dr. Lepalm, and they discover that the sanctuary place is actually a school of the blind, which is pretty kind of makes sense, you know, because I was thinking, like, what if someone's blind? Are they really going to be like succumb to like this whole problem thing? And also, like, what if like someone who is what's it called? Who is insane? What would they do when they find a blind person? Are they going to kill them, or like what's going to happen? You know, like all these different questions, which I kind of want to know the answer to, but we never really know the answer to those questions though. And which also begs the question as well, like what would actually have happened if they found a sane, someone who was thinking correctly but had seen, because they checked their eyes to see if they were dodge or not. What if they found someone who was decent but had seen, and they still kept themselves together? Would they have been able to convince them? I'm not sure. We'll see about that, because some of them could see. Not everyone there was blind, but it made sense that the School of the Blind was able to be one of the places that was left standing and kind of still operational after things which kill people who can see it killed a lot of people. So then moving on, Dr. Lepalm's there, and then she finds other children, which kind of verifies like Tom's hope that he was given to the children, and that was just beautiful. This is the part I really teared up at, was when Lepalm asked for the children's names, and also before I thought that Mallory was gonna have twins because I saw 2 children, but then it just turns out that it was just one child that she had. I know that it was confirmed that she was having one child in the beginning, but I was thinking she could have. Doctors aren't always right all the time, so it's possible that so it's possible that they might have missed it, but that wasn't the case. Okay, but it really teared me up when
Critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
Okay, it really just teared me up when
The more successful
when she asked for their names, and they said boy, girl, and then she said no, actually the name is Olympia and Tom. And the girl's reaction when she was given a name, when she was given an identity, that
life support has been replenished.
just touched me. That just touched me in unimaginable ways, and I was just tearing up because they've been through so much, and this girl has finally found her identity. She's finally found a place in the world, and it was just beautiful. Okay, and honestly, like there was like what else would you want? Like it was. I was just tearing up. I was tearing up really hard. I was like, man, they had, like, she's been through a lot, and now she has like a name now. Like, it was good. And then when she gave Tom his name, the boy, she was just like, Tom was chill. Was like, I got a name now. It's fine. And basically, that's how they find the sanctuary, and that's the whole thing. But the main point of the movie is that it explores humanity, explores what it means to be human, explores what it means to interact with people, explores like a hardship, explores the lady and her ability to take care of her children, and and the way that she evolves. Okay, because one thing that really is the main point of female protagonists is that they overcome a physical challenge, and then they evolve mentally, and that just helps. That just helps everyone, and it was just a beautiful thing to just see. So basically, I know that was quite a long. It was a 2-hour movie. I knew that was going to be quite a long review, but basically that's basically it. So I'm just gonna wave goodbye, and I'll catch you guys. Catch you guys in the next video, because this was quite a long review, but catch you guys next video.